We put the new ARB brushless compressor head to head with the classic tried and tested ARB compressor, and the results blew us away. We are gonna give you the true duel of the duels. Never had the chance to say that. Now I have. Bucket list item, check. Now, is this new compressor worth the extra $300 US it's gonna cost out of your kid's savings fund to get? Or should you just stick with the old tried and true one that is still being sold? And the more important question, besides, did I save money by switching to Geico for my car insurance? Will it work with the Kraken? And in order to help us with this, we're gonna get our in-house theoretical physicist, Dr. Landen.
Hey guys, how's it going? We've got the new brushless compressor in front of us. This thing's pretty cool. It's got some smart features that we have never seen on the old classic compressors. Mainly, the most important feature being the staggered start, which will stagger the motor starting so that it puts less of a load on your electrical and charging system, which is great. Another huge, awesome feature for our application here on the Kraken system is the inclusion of 2 active cooling fans. So we have 2 fans on the inlet of the motor housing, which will keep it cool, or as much as possible.
Instead of only cooling the relay.
Yeah, exactly. On the classic compressors, if you ever had one of these apart, there's a small cooling fan, but it's basically blowing air on a solenoid pack to keep it cool, and not actually the motor housing itself. So this guy runs remarkably cooler, and that's partially what makes it or allows it to put out 50% more output. That's huge. 50% more output, that's less time you're waiting to air up, which is great. One of the interesting things that ARB included on the new brushless compressors, both the twin and the single up, is the inclusion of a removable mounting bracket. I don't know about you, but I don't really see the point about having a removable bracket on a fairly hefty air compressor. It's not.
That's because you live in northern BC or northern Vancouver and not down in Surrey.
Perhaps.
I take mine in, unbolt my passenger seat every night.
You could. There's a considerable weight savings on the new compressors as well. But again, the air compressor only comes with 1 power wiring harness. So unless you're willing to fork out, I would guess somewhere around $200, $250 US for a replacement harness, this thing isn't being moved from vehicle to vehicle. So if you are installing one of these, I'd recommend you crank down those quick little Allen head bolts on the quick release to make sure this ain't going anywhere.
So Landon probably won't remember these days, but some of you out there will. This is going to be like back in the day when you had to take the head unit of your radio with you into the restaurant. So when you go and you get to your TGI Fridays, you're about to tie one on, make sure to bring this in with you to the table.
Now, the keen-eyed observers of you may notice that these Kraken mounting plates are a little bit different. These are pre-production prototypes of the next generation or Gen 2 Kraken that we're working on. The Gen 2 Kraken will be, of course, compatible with the classic brushed twin, as well as the new brushless twin compressor. As well, we will have available a kick plate. Basically, this will help or prevent the gremlins in your back seat from kicking off the air filters, which we've had some feedback on.
See, and I thought we were going to kickstart it like a motorcycle, but that's a lot better use of it, I imagine.
I think. So it's coming together. There'll be more info on Kraken Gen 2 here soon. Perhaps even by the time this video goes live, there may be some more information on our website. Certainly stay tuned to our social pages for an official release, but it's in the works. So thanks for those of you that have been waiting.
Now, this looks much cleaner than that. Why is that?
So the 2 compressors we have here on the table, we have the classic twin with our optional ARB pressure control upgrade. Now on the brushless side, we don't have the pressure control upgrade. At least in our initial testing, the pressure control upgrade through ARB severely limits the amount of air throughput that you can get through the system. So much so that it effectively chokes it out. So at this time, unless there is a revised high flow ARB pressure control kit come to market, at this time that system is not compatible with the brushless, but it is something that we're exploring other options for, because we really do like that smart functionality, being able to set a target pressure and letting the system run up and shut off for you. So we are looking into that, and hopefully we can come up with an option for the brushless. But for now, that system combined with the classic compressor works pretty well. That very expensive wiring harness that I mentioned is it's quite in depth. It has an error detection circuit board built into it, which will prevent any false starts or overcurrent events, basically to save the compressor. So they've moved some of the control circuitry that was inside of the old classic compressor into the harness. So the harness at install is a little bit more difficult. Our installation guides and videos will of course detail that to the best of our ability for those of you folks that are interested in the brushless setup.
Excellent. So there will be a video coming. That is not going to be this video, where we show how to modify and install the new brushless compressor harness, because it's a doozy. Perfect. But what's most important, and why you're here, is which blows harder and more. Obviously the important questions, and we're going to figure out the answers. So let's get to it. All right, here's how this is going to go, guys. We're going to do this so scientifically. We're going to get a pair of trailhead deflators. If you haven't got your set, they're probably got a promo code in our email at the website. You can get yours set instead of using that Bic fountain pen you just happen to have in your glove box, and then you make all your buddies wait because you're still kneeling on your knees poking at the little hole in the valve
In the dark.
in the dark. Ooh, this is not good. Okay, so we're gonna air down both these 12 psi, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do after that. Now, you're saying this takes a while. It is not the deflator's fault this takes a while. You'd have to blame Chrysler, because they designed a sensor that is in the way so that the air has to go through this tiny little brass hole in order to get out. So it was faster on older vehicles, and it's not now. But at least you don't have to be bent over in the sun or the cold or the rain. You can be just getting a refreshment out of the back of the Jeep, sitting inside, taking a leak, or serenading your buddy for not having trail deflators. Okay, for authenticity's sake, just so you know we're not bullshitting you, we're gonna show you exactly what it reads on the dash of each vehicle, which right now is 13 psi, even though the tires say 12. But we'll show you that. All right, here's the next step. We're both gonna go hook up the Kraken systems. Obviously, the hooking up is exactly the same in both systems. Let's get started.
All right, so we're gonna hop into the passenger side of each Jeep. Christian into his, mine into Paul's. We're going to probably start the engine first. That's always best practice to give the most amount of juice to the compressors, allows them to run a little bit more efficiently. We're going to reach down, we're going to start each Kraken system up, fire the compressors up. At the same time, we're going to start a timer on each of our phones, and we're going to monitor the little heads-up display, the dash readout, and we're going to stop the system once we see that all 4 tires have reached 32 psi. Then we're going to come back and we're going to compare how long it took and see just how much more performance you get out of the brushless compressor.
What?
Okay.
I'm not even close here. I got 6 minutes, 36 seconds to go from 12 PSI. Actually, I was below 12 PSI a little bit, but to go to like 32, 33 PSI on my 37.
That's about what we can expect, what we've been using, right? About
yeah, I always say
minutes.
about 7, but this is a full controlled environment, as you can see. So 6.5 minutes, I went from 12 to 32.
Now here's the kicker. On Paul's Jeep with the 13 and a half wide inch tires, we're at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. So that's considerable. That's what, 2 minutes, more than 2 minutes?
Yeah, that's
off?
like 2 minutes faster.
That's 50% faster.
That's
so
pretty good.
There you go. Pretty impressive.
So if you don't want to be waiting around all day at the trail, buy the new compressor. If you're completely fine standing around for 2 extra minutes and shooting the shit with your buddies or doing whatever, because you're not in a really big hurry, that's why you go and venture the outdoors, buy the old compressor. They're both going to be available. They're both going to work with the Gen 2 Kraken, and they're both going to air up just fine. But if you're one of those guys who likes the new shiny stuff, buy the new one. Won't bother me a bit. All right, we have now scientifically learned that the new compressor blows 50% more than the old compressor. Now that's some pretty good numbers. And that's almost, if you did the math, the $300 increase justifies the 50% increase. But we don't really care about numbers here. We just want to make sure that you get aired up safely and drive home and enjoy your time on the trail. And you can do that with either compressor with the new Kraken. Now, I don't know exactly when the new Kraken's going to be online on the website for you to pre-order and buy, but it will be soon. I went with the classic compressor, obviously. What would you do with your $300 extra dollars? I bought a guitar. So that I could impress your wife more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment.
Okay, you ready? Uh-oh.
Nope, just
Benjamin.
Just Benjamin.
Slow down, Benjamin.
Just Mr. Franklin.
Kids at play here.
Are we ready? Are we ready? Am I gonna start spitting
Start spitting rhymes?
tracks? Rhymes?